Today we're talking about Dart and why rideshare apps are eating Dart's lunch.
Another issue of the Irving Herald is off the press. First copies of Irving's newspaper were distributed the very day lots were auctioned off to start the city of Irving.
All right, welcome. We're here on Dart 255 bus, which is taking its last trip ever. Not really, but actually it's ending.
It's ending as of tomorrow evening, right?
So no service on Monday.
Yeah.
That was the topic of the city council meeting for the end of January. Lots of commentary on Dart ending the service because we give them more and more money.
Yeah.
We're cutting back on services.
Yes, exactly.
So 2 bus lines ending. So 29% of our bus service. 5 light rail stations are now going to be without bus service. So that's not going to help ridership. If they're looking to increase ridership, cutting off the service to the Dart stations doesn't help.
Yeah. There was a lot of interesting citizen commentary on the city council meeting the other day. I think, there was one person that actually spoke from his anecdotal experience. Like, he actually rode the bus this particular route, and he was really concerned that by ending the route, it was going to, obviously impede his ability to get to work. And I think there's something to be said about that, right? I mean, it's really important that these routes exist, or at least some transportation options exist to help people with their day-to-day necessities. But I think one of the things that most of the commentary, though, the folks were not riding the bus regularly. Nobody actually said directly, like, I ride this bus. Like, they talk about how much they need the bus system, but they don't personally say that I ride the bus. Like I said, there was one guy that rode the bus.
There's very few people, so this is why Dart wants to end it.
Correct.
Is because there's so few ridership on these 2 routes. Even together, it's only 2/3 of the one MacArthur route. So lots of people are riding that bus.
Yeah.
Councilman Webb said, this is due to budget cuts, it's not due to ridership. They didn't even give us the full 2 years to establish ridership. They kind of ended it. They didn't even tell us that it was on the chopping block. So it's kind of happening precipitously. And it's not helping with Dart's image in Irving.
No, absolutely not. So the bus routes, from my understanding, it costs about, $4.3 million a year to operate, right?
For these 2 bus routes.
For these 2 bus routes. Now, just so everybody's aware, our annual, I guess you could say, tribute to the Dart organization is actually going to be increasing in this coming year, in 2026. Last year we paid about $110 million in annual tribute. I'm going to call it tribute, if that's okay.
That's what it is.
Yes, and now it's going to be increasing to about $117 million. That's the estimate, right?
And it'll keep going up.
Yeah,
It'll be 150.
Before we know it, probably within by 2030, I'm sure it'll get to 150 million for sure. But so we're going to be giving $7 million more a year, but we're going to be getting $4.3 million less in services within the Irving municipal area.
Absolutely. So there were citizen comments, and then there was a staff presentation with different slides, and the most jaw-dropping statistic was a slide that showed the ridership decline, which is ridership is way down, from basically 32% down in 10 years.
And this is across, not just in Irving, but across Dart, the entire Dart service area.
It's down in Irving too. It's down 70,000 riders in Irving.
Yeah.
But yes, across the entire system, down a third, while population has increased by a fifth. 20 should be getting more riders.
Yeah, so, and again, this is being estimated by per ride, so it's hard to know exactly how many actual human beings are benefiting from this. It's just they're basically saying, okay, somebody paid for a ride on a bus to go from point A to point B. That's one ride, right? But over the course of from 2013, which interestingly is when I actually moved to Irving. So I love these stats because it just kind of shows what's been going on since I've lived here personally. But it's gone down 2.5 million a year, right? So every year there's 2.5 million riders less than there was the year before. And so during that time, yeah, it's gone from what is it, like 71 million to 48 million regular riders per year, which is a cumulative decrease of 32%, about a third. So it's decreased a third. Meanwhile, population in Dallas has increased during that time by approximately 20%. When I say Dallas, the DFW area, the North Texas kind of metro hub.
So ridership should be increasing. It's not.
No.
And why is that? Well, we had something come in the 2010s.
Yeah.
That's much more convenient.
Yeah, exactly. I have a theory. It's probably not so much a theory as it is a reality. But that's when rider apps started to come onto the market. You know, I remember it was really starting to make a big push, like Uber, Lyft, yeah, sorry. Uber, Lyft, and I'm sure there are other competitors in the market, but those are the two big ones. Started to really make a big push in around 2013, 2014. And, you know, I can't deny that probably had a major impact in ridership for the Dart area. Which it goes to show that, at least in my perspective, that those that have the ability, the financial means to choose something else other than Dart are doing just that, right? So now Dart is not the preferred option for commuter transport. It's now like, it's basically the option of last resort. It's what you ride when you have no other option available to you, which is really kind of sad, really. And to think, we had some more analysis here about how much it costs.
Well, that's the other
ride. Per ride. Like,
so the increase in population, but the decline in ridership, as if that wasn't eye-popping enough. Costs have increased $23.5 million per year.
Yeah.
So the costs are going up on the graph, while the ridership is going down. What the heck?
So for like every ride you lose per year, the cost goes up $10. So, I mean, that's not a cause and effect relationship. It's just a correlation, but just trying to point that out.
It's like what are they spending the money on?
Yeah.
One of the comments, somebody who had been in Irving since 1960 at the end said, why don't we cut the big salaries and the bonuses? Why are we cutting the buses?
Yeah.
Why don't we cut the big salaries? And there's something to that. I mean, AD, the CEO of Dart, she got a raise to $400K a year. She got nearly $100,000 in bonuses in the past 3 years. And the employee costs are high. The staff costs are 7th in the nation for metroplexes. So it was a shocking slide to see that cost increase with the ridership decreasing.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a system that's and by the way, that's not counting the silver line. So those costs are going to balloon once they start counting how much it costs to run the silver line, which is the east-west through the suburbs to the airport. So they open up a new line, and there's going to be increased costs with that. So we're paying much more for this. Less people are like, it's being replaced by these rideshare apps.
And the executives are being rewarded. It's the executive salaries. It's really a drop in the bucket for the entire cost of Dart. And so I don't want to falsely kind of come to a conclusion that somehow by like cutting the executive salaries or getting rid of the bonuses is somehow going to solve the problem, because it's just not, right? Like it's a very, very minor fraction of the overall cost of Dart. But there's an issue of justice too, like ridership is down. It's become the option of last resort, right? The market has responded that where the people that can are using other options to get to and from work and their other commuting needs. It leads me to believe that it's just an issue of justice. Like, why would you continue to reward, with bonuses,
that's right.
for this type of performance?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So it's not the bonuses in and of themselves, but the accountability. So there was a comment. So the Dallas City Council committee meeting in infrastructure and transportation, Kara Mendelson, who represents Waiting with Dallas, asked the interim political director, is there any accountability for this decrease in ridership for DART? And he said, well, I don't think so. So then just decisions are being made. They impact real people. All those people who were speaking at the council meeting were pleading the city council to do something. The city council can't do anything because the decision is being made elsewhere. The decision is being made by DART, by the state legislature. Dallas controls the DART board.
Yeah.
However, at that meeting, at that transportation infrastructure meeting, they did vote, and this is kind of amazing. They voted 4-3 to allow the Dallas City manager to negotiate governance structure that would give Dallas less than a majority, which it has now.
It is
That's
kind of
amazing.
It's kind of interesting. Like we're voting to recommend that you have leverage or the ability to go ahead and negotiate it. Now, again, the Dallas City manager would have to essentially, make some negotiation. Well, they would be negotiating to essentially reduce Dallas's power, on the dartboard. Which I don't know if they'll do that or not, but it does show though that they are listening. Like the idea that like Irving, Plano, what are the other cities that have threatened to pull out? There's a few other cities that have basically put it on the ballot as an initiative. And this tactic, if it is a negotiation tactic, which we think it is having some effect because now people are listening and they're thinking, okay, like there's obviously an imbalance of power. Dallas has way too much influence on the dartboard. Like these suburban members, don't have as much say in what's going on, and so I think that they're really seriously looking at changing the governance structure of DART, which is a step in the right direction, right? I mean, it's a step, right? It's not the ultimate solution. There are a lot of things that need to be fixed about this entire situation, but obviously this tactic is working.
At the end of this comment about DART, Al Zapata said, "Look, you need to call your state reps, your state senators. That really is the ultimate solution.
Yeah, they have power over this situation.
State law."
Yeah.
But you were right. I mean, hats off to our mayor and our city council for really working with other cities, pressing this issue. We're the number 2 populated suburb in DART, besides Plano. We've been a leader on this, and it's starting to have an effect. And we're not going to do the pull-out election. I'm sure we're going to pull out the pull-out election.
They're going to take that off the ballot.
It's a great negotiating tactic. It gets the headlines. It gets the awareness to these eye-popping statistics that people need to know about because we kind of take this for granted. We don't realize this is a new situation, right? Rideshare apps are basically killing this model. We need to think about a new model, and cities want to do that. They want to innovate. They want to serve their citizens, and DART is just not reacting.
It's not, and like we talked about earlier, like the market has changed, right? Like just in the last 12, 13 years, the development of these rideshare apps has made commuter transportation a lot easier and a lot more convenient than these big clunky buses.
You don't have to wait. You don't have to do transfers, be in the spot, wait for 15-20 minutes.
I mean,
it was cold this morning.
It is. My alpaca scarf is everybody's
because
probably
we're waiting in
noticed
the cold for the bus.
It's a balmy 26 degrees right now.
It's not a door-to-door service.
It's not.
But we are here at the train station, speaking of door-to-door.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that, needless to say that obviously, it cost us both $6 a piece to take this ride, which is certainly like no major strain on my wallet or anything, and it's definitely going to be more expensive to Uber ourselves back to our cars later because we don't have the time to go and do the full loop, and get back to our cars. But that being said, if you know, it's not just the cost to the rider, but the overall operational cost. And to think if Irving, or even if the Dallas, you know, even if the Dallas area could come up with a transportation solution that actually kind of met some of the needs and the desires of its own populace, right? Like make commuter transport more convenient. You know, I think that's what we need.
Yes, sir.